Hello, I'll be with you in just a minute. A few settings I have to adjust here. There we go. How is everybody? What's new? I'm gonna lower this camera. Hang on one second. I have to adjust the feet on this one. We're doing Winter Wonderland themed art today. And I found a new interesting pattern in friendship bracelets. And I didn't realize people were making patterns for friendship bracelets, but trying to learn how to read them is quite a skill. So, oh, that's better. Okay, hang on. One of my samples fell down. But so some of the other folks on our trains still working right now. Oh gosh, who was before me? I think it was Connie. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Connie. Anyhow, it's a train. They haven't made it here yet, so it'll be just a minute. But since we're doing Winter Wonderland, do you guys want to see the snow outside my house? We're in Northwest Ohio. Oh, there. Oh, yeah, you can see it. We are. We have a good blanket of snow right now. So it's like everything's still like pretty and white, and then like in a couple days it'll all get like gray and dirty if we don't get new snow on top of it. And it is wet and heavy snow because it has been warm during the day and then freezing at night, and so then it's crunchy, thick, heavy, wet snow. But we are if you're you're here with us on Mainly Made, but if you're on YouTube or Facebook, you can come over to district.net/mainlymade and join the chat so everybody can see what you put in, and you can see them too. We have a very nice community here on Mainly Made. There are also some handmade items in my store. If you see the little marketplace icon and it has a little number 7 over it, those are the 7 little handmade things that I currently have available. But if you look at my profile, you can see the rest of the stuff I have listed on our sister site, which is Knickknacks, and that is all of our vintage pieces over there. So we should see the rest of the art train coming in here in just a moment. And then we'll get started. I think I'm probably going to have to turn the camera down so you guys can see this better. I wonder, maybe I'll try lowering the legs a little bit further and see how that goes. All right, we're going for a ride, friends. Oh, I'm back. Hello. Welcome in. Sorry about that. I had to adjust the camera, and I must have hit a button when I moved my phone. So, hi, welcome in. It's good to see you all. So for those of you that don't know me, my name's Erin. I go by Rebel Junk here on Mainly Made and Knickknacks and Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. I think that's everywhere that I'm at. I have I'm sure there's a TikTok account and a Twitter account out there somewhere that I don't use. But mostly I post on Instagram. So what I brought with me today is friendship bracelets, and a couple of things I was thinking. One, there's a lot of patterns that have winter themes for friendship bracelets, and it's something you can do when we're stuck inside with all the snow outside, or if it's just not, I'm not a cold outdoorsy person, and like right now, if we can get that to focus or not, you can see the snow outside of our window here. So these are the friendship bracelets that like I made as a teenager, and maybe you have made them too. So out of embroidery floss. So if you have embroidery floss or yarn, or you come across it a lot and you're like, I don't know what to do with that because I don't embroider, you can make friendship bracelets out of it. And there's a lot of new patterns. Have any of you ever used a friendship bracelet pattern before? I had to like actually go on YouTube and find out how to read these patterns, because the bracelets are gorgeous. However, I'm struggling a little bit. So I did make just a quick little sample start of one of the bracelets that I'm used to making. Yeah, some of them are wild. Like you almost have to put them on a loom, which I have a beading loom. And I think that might work, but I'm gonna have to try and figure these out first, because I'll show you. I'm struggling a little bit, but we're gonna do this together, right? So these are the bracelets that I'm used to making, where you just take one color and make an entire row across of it. And then I'm going to show you my attempt, and then we're going to try and start over, because there's something I'm not doing correct, because this is supposed to be a snowflake and it's not. Yeah, do you remember making those? Okay, so this, I have a pattern for it, and this is what they look like. So mine is supposed to look like that, but this is what it just looks like. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. So we'll practice that a little bit together while we learn how to read these. Do you know how to read these? I had to look online. Almost, because yeah, we're making knots. So if you ever did macrame, this is kind of almost like miniaturized macrame. The knots are the same that you would do with that. So you could do this in yarn or heavy rope or whatever you wanted to do with. But for this purpose, to make a bracelet, I've got the embroidery floss. It's like the 6-strand floss, and you just use the whole strand. Because I know sometimes when you embroider, you're only going to take like 2 or 3 strands off of there. And then quickly, I do want to mention also, some of us don't have the dexterity. Google. I just Googled it. There's gobs and gobs and gobs of patterns out there. Friendship bracelets. Oh, here, look. friendshipbracelets.net. And then that's the pattern number. And a lot of times, if you click on a YouTube video and you want to learn how to do them, there's some sort of system for these pattern numbers now, and you can just search for the pattern numbers, which I don't know who, centralized that, but there it is. Yeah, I just found it online. This is a project that I do with my younger Girl Scouts, because they don't necessarily have the patience or the, again, dexterity. Sometimes we can't manipulate our hands into these little knots with these tiny little strings. So this is just kind of a homemade weaving wheel. And you can see I've got 8 numbers on there, but I only have 7 strings, because you have to have an empty one to move your string onto. But this is what comes out of there. So if you ever needed to make yourself a little rope or cord for something, like, if you needed a new cord on your purse or your wallet, little wristlet thing, this is the way to do it. So you can do it obviously in any combination of colors, and I just picked out 7 colors. But I just cut a circle out of cardboard. I used the glass to get the shape and then cut it out. This could work with cereal boxes. And honestly, to tell you the truth, the boxes that we get priority mail from USPS are almost just the perfect weight to do this. You cut a little slit at each number. So you draw lines like you were cutting a pie. It doesn't have to be exact either. I eyeballed those spaces and then wrote the numbers on there. And then the pattern is, if you go to your number and you go to your right, 1, 2, 3. So you would take this one out and put it in the blank space. And then this would be empty. Here, I'll just do it. So you go like this. So now this is the empty one. So you move that one to the bottom. And again, go to your right. 1, 2, 3. I fell off and got dragged by the caboose. Oh no, welcome back. Do you have your ticket? We need to check that, ma'am. We need your ticket for the train. But literally, you just keep taking that empty space and going 3 to the right, and whatever number is there, you just move it down to that one. And that's all you have to do. So as long as you can grab a hold of the thread and, hold it tight enough to get it in there, and then you just pull this down as you go and tighten it up a little bit, and it makes you that pattern. So you can, there's a lot you could do with that kind of round knitting pattern in different colors. So I went to a different town and also found your way back. Welcome back, friends. Sounds like y'all had a little side trip there. Okay, can we talk about my nails? Can I brag about my kid for a minute? So I'm going to show you, these are incredibly simple nails, right? Just some green with some chrome on top. If you went to instead, that would be a different pattern. Yes, it would. Yeah. So if you only counted 2 instead of 3, something wacky. Oh, but there have been times when I've been in a show and they're like redirected us to a raid and I didn't make it. Either I didn't go or I ended up in somebody else's show. These are press-on nails that my daughter makes. Now, these are a solid color because this is my all-time favorite color in the whole wide world. And then she put that iridescent chrome on top of it for me, which, hello, aren't those fantastic? But she does custom painting, like art on people's nails and on press-on nails. So like she did one lady's dog portrait on a thumbnail. She's done a cat portrait. There was a gentleman that was showing at the Toledo Museum of Art, and one of the gals that was going to be a docent that day came in and she put the artist's art on her nails for her to go to work in. And so if you ever need the most fantastic nail custom orders, I mean, she'll do anything. She has these little paintbrushes, you guys. I swear it's like one hair, but she does art on your nails. So anyhow, I will. I have her store linked, I think, from my Instagram. If you follow me on Instagram, I will share something from her today so you guys can all see it. But like, I don't paint like that. I'm crafty. This is my level of art right here. My daughter is just so talented. It is, yeah. And she's absolutely having the time of her life doing this. She gets to paint art for a living. And, at people's request. So she's up in Toledo, Ohio. She does a fantastic job, but I'll link to her Instagram so you guys can see. Uh, I'm always just like blown away the stuff that she posts on there. So yes, I will do that. Yes, I know we need to find her a celebrity for sure. We have done, what was I gonna say? She's done like several of her friends are artists also. And so like there's a tattoo artist that gets her nails done. And so then when her clients see her nails, then she refers them. My son-in-law, he drives for FedEx and he lets her do his nails, things like Star Wars and things like that. And so as he's delivering packages and people notice his nails, he's handing out her card. So she's busy though. Like she will post at the beginning of the month, like what time slots she has open. And by the next day she'll post, hey, there's 2 slots left. Or, here's what I have left for the rest of the month. It is crazy. She's too expensive too. I can't go there all the time. But anyhow, I'll share that. So anyhow, more art. I told her she needs to come sell on Mainly Made. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. I would ask Jocelyn before I sent them to her because I know she gets her nails done. She may not want the press-on ones if she has nails already on. But these are pressed onto my natural nails, and my natural nails are not this long. And she sent this whole little kit with them that she made for me. It's got like your cuticle remover and your glue and your filing pads, and then like a bunch of different sizes. Like there's more nails on there than what I have on my hand because you have to find the right size. I think there was about a dozen nails for each hand. But anyhow, um, she she gave those to me for Christmas because that's just, I love mint green, is my all-time favorite. And then I dressed in the theme today. So we have Winter Wonderland. I have Winter Wonderland out my window, and now we had to put Winter Wonderland on this bracelet. But we're gonna have to figure out how to do it together because I'm not getting it, and I'm not sure why. This, I don't know the exact name of it, but if you Google instructions for make your own weaving wheel or something like that, I think it's called a weaving wheel, but I'm not positive. This is what comes out of that, and that is, you know, if you want something less tangly and fiddly than this. But for me, keeping my hands busy is why I do these things. I knit, I crochet, I do this, I do cross stitch, you know, anything just to, because when I can't just sit and watch TV, I can't just sit and watch a movie, I can't just, you know, sit and watch knickknacks. I gotta have something in my hands. Let's talk about this pattern for a minute, because the first thing I want to say is that when you're doing the knotted bracelets, every knot has two, you have to tie every knot twice. So no matter if you're doing left over right or right over left, you're always going to do it twice. 2 times to make a knot. So we've got all of our threads listed here, A's and B's. So those are just for the color. This is what your pattern should look like when it's done. This graph up here is what it should look like going this way. But we're working going down through the rows, and these rows are labeled. So in row 1, you would get a blue and a white string, and the blue string would make the knot, and the white string would be kind of like a pole. So you would hold your white string straight down, up and down, and then you would use your blue string to make the knot. Oh, and these nails do not make it easy to do this. I'm still getting used to them. I just put them on last night. So if I ever tell you, hey, hold on to that pole, the pole is the string that goes straight down, and then this is the one that you would bring around to tie it. And I'm going to turn the camera down here in just a minute so you can see while I'm holding this down. You're going to want scissors with you, obviously. Embroidery floss can add up pretty quickly if you're buying individual strings. So I tend to grab it at garage sales. Hello, Froggy's here. And Miss Debbie, hello, welcome in. So I tend to pick it up garage sales and things like that because again, a lot of people collect embroidery floss and it doesn't all get used. And then we're buying things secondhand, post-consumer. We're saving, you know, retailers from having to order more. We're using up what's already available, things like that, which is part of why our name is Rebel Junk. My mom and I started out making crafts out of recycled goods. And so I just kind of continue that, you know, in selling the vintage and using as many recycled products as I can with all of my crafts. So you're going to want some kind of a clip when you get started. So you're going to need your pattern, you're going to need your thread, a clip or a safety pin, something, tape even. You can tape this down to your table, you can tape it to your pants, you can pin it to your pants. I've got a tray that's on my lap and I use the binder clip, just something to hold on to it because you do need to pull it taut while you're working. Who's Nicole? Hi, Nicole. I don't know. Which one of y'all is Nicole? Oh, I see. It's up here. Okay, it's right across the white stripe on my shirt, and I couldn't see it. Okay, I gotcha. I did not know your first name, sweetie. I'm so sorry. Welcome in, Nicole. Sarah, you just threw me all off. But that's okay. I'm glad you said hello. Yes, we're saving the earth, right? Okay, so scissors and then some kind of grippy thing and your thread and your pattern. And then I'm going to show you how I'm using this official disruptor. That's a good one. This is my sad attempt at the at this pattern because I'm used to working in a straight row, and this is like you're tying a knot every other row. And so I don't know if my tension is off or if I'm not moving my knots high enough. But we'll find out. You do want to start with kind of a loop on the end if you're going to make this a bracelet and maybe you have a button connector. So just think about how you're going to connect your bracelet when it's all done. Is somebody just going to tie it on? If it is, leave a string that's long enough to tie. I have gobs of buttons. I will string a button on the other end and make it a button closer. So I did make a loop there. Although I don't know that anybody's going to want my practice round. So maybe, well, maybe I'll want it. Maybe I can wear it. Anyhow, snowflakes for winter weather, right? Let's finish reading this. Okay, so row 1, 2, 3. So it tells you what rows you're in. I'll explain to you what the arrows mean. It tells you what order your thread's going to start in. So that's the pattern your thread's going to start in. So you're going to just lay all those out in the special order. It is very special, isn't it? And so whichever color is in the circle, that's the color that you're going to use to make your knot. And then the other color will be the pole. So that's the one you're going to hold taut and you're going to tie the blue around that knot. Now, remember I said every knot has 2 rounds. So on this round, you're going to go left to right. Oh, wait, let me think about that. You're going to tie the string to the right and then to the left. And some people call it a backwards knot because it's like reading. So everything is left to right when we're reading, and everything is left to right on here. So if it's going to the right, it's forward, and if it's going to the left, it's backwards. Because if you were reading to the left, it would be backwards, and if you're reading to the right, it's forwards. So this is going to be that's actually the end, because I'm looking, you guys, this is all backwards to me. I hope it's not backwards to you. So this is going to be a right and then left. That's why it's angled like that. If your arrow looks like this, then it's 2 to the right. So I hope that makes sense. So if you have a bent arrow, you're going to go in 2 directions. If you have a straight arrow, you're going to go 2 in 1 direction. That's a lot of information, right? I know it took me forever to like sit here and stare at this and figure it out. But if you just do it, it's a lot easier. So I'm going to attempt this. So I definitely know how to make the simpler bracelet. And do we want to see the rainbow bracelet first? Do you want me to show you the easy one first? Or do you just want to jump right into the snowflakes? Because the easy one is pink and purple, because my daughter likes pink and purple, and it's not really winter themed. Although we do get, we get some beautiful sunsets in the winter up here. Oh my gosh. It is like putting IKEA furniture together. Absolutely, 100%. This could be our winter sunset. How about that? This is going to be our winter sunset. I'm going to show you guys, because making the knots will make more sense on here before we switch over to this one. So I'm going to clip this onto my board. I'm going to move you guys down here so you can see what I'm doing. I just have to tilt the camera here. Hang on one second. Maybe. Okay, let's see. I think that's a good angle. I'm not following on my iPad, so let me grab that so I make sure I keep my stuff on the screen so you guys can see. Oops. So really the nice thing about this is you just really kind of don't need any tools. You just need to have, your scissors and something to pin your thing down with. Something to stabilize your thread, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Somewhere to hold it on. Let me see if it'll let me monitor from here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so now I can see what I'm doing. And you guys can almost kind of see what I'm doing. So I'm going to tilt this down. I know that's right on the, it's right on the chat. Let me see. That works better. Well, sort of. I'm going to be working right here. So you can, why can't I can't get this in the right spot, friends. Oh, if I back up, there we go. Just back up, Erin. Okay. So I'm clipping this onto my board here to stabilize it. And in this kind of a pattern, you're just going to start on the left and use this one string to make knots all the way across. And I'll show you what the knot is. Get this back on here. So when I was talking to you guys about the poles earlier, like all of these threads are going to be poles. So they're all going to be held taut in front of me. And then we'll do one at a time. So the knot that I'm going to do is actually a knot that goes, if you were looking on the pattern, it's the one where the arrow points to the right. So you're going to make a number 4. This is your pole. You're going to make a number 4. And this string, no matter which way you tie it, is always going to come up and under and through the 4. So it's always going to go like this, through the 4. If you were doing the other knot, which is to the left, you're going to make your 4 backwards, but whichever way this string is pointing is the left or the right. So if it's pointing this way, it's to the left on the pattern, and if it's pointing this way, it's to the right. So we're going to do 2 rights on all of these. So you wrap it around, pull it all the way to the top, and do it again, because it's always 2. Okay, and in this pattern, we just go to the next string, which is this purple. Again, you make your 4, oops, make your 4, and come through the 4. Now, I've got my strings kind of long because I want the bracelet to be a decent length when I'm finished, and you'll lose about sometimes half the length of your string. So I think I started out with about 30 inches. I'll have 15 inches left, which sounds long for a bracelet, but I'll need strings to tie it, strings to attach the button. I'll need length for all of that. Okay. Try not to micromanage, but let me tell you all what to do. Absolutely, Connie. Let us in on the secrets. Okay, I missed the message that was up above the milk and cookies. Is somebody bringing milk and cookies? Did I miss the snack? Okay, number 4, and bring your string through there. And you'll get into a rhythm and you'll find out what works best for you as you go along. The other girl I saw was holding this with her pinky, and I can't do that because my hand cramps up. So I make my number 4 like that, and then just bring the string through. And I just hold my string with kind of my whole hand. So you can use your thumb to pull the 4 over. You can use your finger to bring the thread through. Whatever works best for you. It's a little fiddly. I mean, they're skinny little strings, you know? Okay, so now we're at the end, and let me see. So now we've got a new row of, I'm looking at the other camera and it's backwards, a new row of purple right there. And so next one we're going to start with is the dark purple, and then we'll just keep going across. Boy, this is kind of in the way, isn't it? I don't know how to do it to get it out of the way. Here, if I put that over there and pull it this way. No, sort of. Okay, so that's how you make the basic knot. So I'm just going to do one more row real quick, because then we'll switch to our lefts and our rights. And this is doing a full row. This is, you know, using one string to go all the way across. When we get to the pattern, we're using the first 2 strings to make this knot, and then we're using these 2 strings to make that knot, and then these 2 strings. And so it's actually a kind of a knitted pattern almost, because you're getting, your knots are going to be in V's, and you have to make them fit very close together from these 2 rows in order to make your pattern. And my knots were not sitting correctly. So together, we're going to have to figure this out, friends. This single knot stuff, I can do. My tension's good, my knots are good, my lines are straight. It's one direction on this knot. It's always going to the right, which is forward. It's always going forward because we read left to right. And so going to the right is forward. And I'm just taking the one string and continually going forward. So what's confusing on the pattern is we're tying in pairs and not necessarily, you know, connecting them all. So I'm gonna need y'all to help me figure out tension and direction on that one, because the tension and direction I was heading was not staying. And then sometimes you don't use the outside string on that one. And so like every other row you have to like skip a knot, which is, I really want to make this snowflake pattern. That's the problem. So we're going to keep trying. I'm not giving up just yet. But you can see how fast I can get when I really get going on these. Okay, so there's like a whole row in like 2 seconds. That dark row I just got done. Okay. So did you guys did you show me by raising your hand how many of you have made these before in some fashion? Or macrame? Have you done macrame before? Is anybody going to be able to tell me what I'm doing wrong on this pattern? That's a good question. Oh, good. So many of you have done this. Okay. Friends, we have to figure this out. I'm starting fresh, so we're going to pretend like none of this up here exists. And we're going to clip it on here. And then hopefully, yeah, you guys can see my knot there. Not without being over your shoulder. Got it. You have no idea. I know. So I had not done this, you guys, in like decades, right? And then I had a group of Girl Scouts and they were like, we want to make friendship bracelets. And I was like, oh man, this is a couple years ago. So we started them out with the little weaving wheel, and then we got into tying the knots. And you know, some of them got it and some of them didn't have the patience, which was fine, but it had just been forever since I had done it. Okay, so my pattern says A, B is a blue, white. So those are the first two. And then my next two are two blues. So I'm going to set these out in pairs first, according to the pattern, and get them kind of lined up a little bit for me ahead of time. Now, this string was 70 inches, and then I folded it in half. So we're working with 35 inches of string. So occasionally you get like a little tangle at the end, and you just kind of have to work it out. And then as you go along, you'll like run your hand down the strings to keep them separated. Okay, so there's my two blues. And then the last one is white and then blue. So I just got to make sure I keep those ones in order when it's more than one of the same color. I did see a note on one pattern that said when you have two strings of the same color, it doesn't matter which one you use to tie the knot, but I'm starting to doubt that. I think that's where I went wrong at the top of this one. So, A to B, left to, or right, so this is slanting down to the right and then to the left. So the two parts of my knot, the first one's going to be how I started the other ones. I am multicasting to YouTube. Am I not? I thought I was. I think I'm on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Let me double check. Okay, I'm definitely on Instagram. Although it looks like, oh yeah, no, it caught up with us. Let's see. Rebel Junk on YouTube. Yeah, it says I'm live. Oh, I'm going to turn the sound off on there so we don't have that echo. Okay, yeah, we are. Yeah, I can see it. Okay, so this is going to go right and then left. So the right was the one that I was doing on the other bracelet. So, no, you're fine. That's a good question, right? I should be because I have the ability to, so I definitely need to. And I hadn't for a while, but then I was like, we need to grow this audience here. So this is, the white's going to be my pole because the circle is in blue. So that means blue is going to make the knot. That's kind of, I know that's part of the chat there. Here we go. So the blue is part of the knot. And I know this is like it's upside down on my screen that I'm looking at, but this is going to the right and then to the left. So when I tie this knot, the tail of my 4 needs to go to the right, which this is my right hand. Just for you guys, I guess, to look, I guess with this ring, this is my right hand. So this is when I'm going to the right. Friendly instructional tone. Oh yeah, I want you guys to be able to do this for sure. Yeah, because I love doing it. Thank you. But you know what though? I'm used to talking to Girl Scouts too. They might, that's kind of, it's almost my mom Girl Scout voice type of teaching. Yeah. Okay, so this is our pole, and this one's going to the right. So we're going to tie that knot. All of these knots, I know for sure they need to go all the way to the top and tie it. Like I'm using my thumb to push that string all the way up. So I did one to the right. Now I need to do one to the left. So it's a backwards 4 now, but my string needs to come out on the left and it needs to stay on the left. So even when I set this string down, that last knot that I just tied up there this string has to stay on the left because that's where it ended. So this string it was white that was on the outside and now it's blue that's on the outside. Okay, so our next one is 2 blues, so it does not matter which one we use. We just have to make sure we go in the right direction. And this one is just a straight arrow to the left, so I'm going to do both knots to the left. A raid? Who raided us? Welcome in. We are learning how to read friendship bracelet patterns and make snowflakes in our winter wonderland. So we're going to the left on this one. So this one's going to be my pole in my right hand. My string is going to the left and it's coming through that number 4. And we're, again, tying that knot tight and pushing it all the way up to the top. And we're doing both in the direction that is the same on the left. Okay. Now I want to hold these 2 pieces together and keep the one that I tied to the left because that's where it ended. So I do want to definitely have some way of managing my string order. When I have my strings spread out on here, this little velvet pad like makes them stay if I use that. But also draping them over the edge here helps too. So we're going to keep those in order. Okay, our next one is 2 whites, and these are both going to the right. So that's like on the rainbow bracelet. So we make our number 4 this way, and our string comes out on the right side, and we pull it through that number 4. So we're going to do that twice because we just have an arrow to the right. So this is where I think I messed up last time, where I wasn't pulling these up tight enough. So I'm going to pull these really tight to the top, and the pattern's not going to be obvious at first because they're all tied in a knot. So they're in like kind of a round spot, and they won't flatten out until we get a couple rows out and it can widen up a little bit. Yes, thank you for joining us. Oh, thank you for being part of the moderation. I appreciate that. What does the yellow question say? Hang on, I can't see it. Whoops. When you do a right and left, you use the same pull string. Yes, you use the strings stay either as a pull or as a tying string. So whichever string is tying does both ties, does both knots. And whichever string is the pull stays the pull. Yes. So 2 parts of a knot, but it's one knot. Okay, so we did the white. Now we have 2 blues, and these 2 blues are, oops, you can't see that, can you? These 2 blues are both going to my right. Yeah. So this will be my pole. I keep that one straight. Make a number 4. Let me see okay. So we're going, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned this. You always go over top of the pole. So your number 4 comes out over top of the pole. There we go. There we go. Okay, so pole, nice and straight. Number 4 comes out over the top and under. And you're always going to pull that string up through the middle of that number 4. And it doesn't matter if the 4 is forwards or backwards. You got to get the string through there. Okay. So this is really bunchy at the top, but I'm going to do my best to keep this all nice and tight and tidy so that hopefully it turns out better than my last one. I really think I just was not pulling those knots up far enough. So I'm going to try really hard to do that. Okay. The last one, the white, should be the first string. Oh, I can't get a hold of it. There we go. So it should be white and then blue. And my pattern says to do a left and then a right with the blue string. So white stays the pole, blue makes the knots, and it's going to be a knot that goes to the left. So my string this string pointed to the left. I'll pull that all the way up, and then it's going to point to the right. So now I've made a number 4, but my bottom string is pointing to the right. Pull it up through the 4 and tighten it up. Now, from what I could tell in reading the instructions for the pattern, you have to go back to the start. So I've got my strings all messed up, but I have a pattern, so I can straighten them out again. So the last 2 that I did, the white came out on the left and the blue came out on the right. So if you can't figure out which string goes where, you can look. I just made this knot, and that white string came out on the left and that blue string came out on the right. And you can read that pattern all the way across to make sure that your strings are lined up. So blue, white, 2 blues. Now, since we tied 2 blues together, we want to figure out which one's going which way, because this is the one that I was using to tie. So this is the one that goes on the right, because see, the one that we tied came out to the right, and this one goes on the left. So I do want to keep those as straight as possible, although it doesn't matter which string you tie the knot with because of the color, but I think it was messing up my pattern by not keeping track of them. Okay, so this was the pole and this was the knot. So this one's gonna go here. And then typically I try and keep these laid out, but I had bumped into the pad here, and so I had messed up my rows. So I'm going to try and keep them splayed out like this. Of course, I just mixed them all up again, didn't I? Okay, this one, and that one goes here. Okay. And then this blue was on the outside, and that white was on the inside. Got it. So now I'm going to go to row 2, which is nice. I mean, these are all numbered which row we're on. You have to remember which row you're on in order to get this right. So what I'm going to do, and you can do this with a ruler or another piece of paper or anything like that. I'm going to tuck it under my little felt pad here, so I know exactly which row I'm on right here. I can see, I know you guys can't see the whole pattern there. I'm not quite sure if I can show the whole pattern and the knot. I can't. Okay, so you'll just have to trust me. Okay, so on this pattern, there's an angled blue on the outside with no knot right here. That means you're going to skip this one. It's on the outside, you're going to set it aside and not use it. But then, all right, hang on. These are getting grabby. There we go. So then I need the next white and the next blue. And this time, the knot is going to be done in white because our arrow is in white, and it's going to be 2 white knots to the right on a blue pole or stem, whichever one you're going to call it. I've been calling them poles, but I've heard other people call them stems. So this blue is coming down, and you're going to tie the white from that side onto here, 2 to the right. So this is our row 2. And if you wanted to follow along with this, I did have, I mentioned the pattern at the beginning, but it's easy to Google snowflake friendship bracelet pattern, and this one was, I think, towards the top. Okay, so my next one is a blue and a white, and the blue is the knot and the white is the stem. So I need my next 2, which I know this is like kind of tangly, but I'm pretty sure I'm keeping track of which ones go where. Yeah, there we go. These are our next 2. So the blue is going to make the knot. It's going to go to the right and then to the left. So to the right. What's that song where you have to go to the right, and then to the left, to the left? We're going to the right and then to the left. Okay, now I need to make sure that that blue, after I tie the knot, stays on the left and the white stays on the right. And you'll be able to check that when you go down to the next row. So this row has a white coming from the left, and that would be this one. As you go along, as you get more rows done, your bracelet will flatten out a little bit. Right now mine's a little bit bunchy, and that's just how they start. If you don't have to tie a knot at the type. What did Miss Connie do? I can't see. My white paper's in the way. There we go. She's very strict. About what? What is Miss Connie so strict about? Okay, so what number was I on? How many knots did I tie? I tied 2. So I need a blue knot that goes from the left to the right. And I think that is going to be this one. Nope. 1, 2, 3. That one's already done. I've got a white and a blue. Okay, so I need a blue knot that goes to the left. Goes to the left. And then nice and tight all the way to the top. And then it's going to go to the right. So my number 4 is over here. And my string is coming out on the right. Okay, and then we'll set those 2 strings aside. And I have one more knot, and it's going to be a white knot. Oh, you can't see it. There it is. It's a white knot over top of a blue stem, blue pole. And remember, these 2 that were on the outside are not getting knots this time. There's just a little blue angle there with no knot at the corner, and that means you have to leave that one set. Okay, so this is going to be a blue stem with a white knot that goes to the left twice. Okay, so it's going to go, remember this is where we're looking for our number 4 to point to the left. So it's a backwards number 4, but this is how we know if we're going to the left or the right, is this bottom part of our number 4. And remember, this pole stays taut, and you just pull that string through the middle of that number 4, and then we're going to make it tight all the way to the top. Okay. So cross your fingers for me that I did this all correctly and push them all up in the right direction. And I'm going to not talk through the next row to see if I could. I know. I keep moving. I can't keep the bracelet and the full pattern on screen because like this thing I'm using is not like, it's like what I'm doing and what I have to do it on is not great with the camera. I guess is what I'm trying to say. All right, so I have moved this up to row 3 now. So again, I'm keeping track of my rows by using my little felt paper here. I'm going to go ahead and do row 3, see how it turns out. I'm going to do it real quick so that I can see how it goes, and we'll check progress. I'll pull it off the board so you can see it. But it's 2 to the right. We're using all the strings now because that one on the corner has a knot right there. Okay, so those first 2 strings are done. And then this one, the white should have started here, and it's going to go to the right and then to the left. Okay, so that needs to end on the left. So I got it over here. Left, right. Okay, my next 2 strings are going to be white. And I don't know if you can see that. I'm looking, yeah, right here. See, I've got a white coming down and a white coming down to this knot. So that's how I know I'm using 2 white strings. And this is 2 to the left. I don't like the left-handed knots because you really should be tying them with your left hand, and I'm right-handed. So it may look like they're a little bit more complicated than they are, but they're not. They're just exactly the same. If I would use my left hand to do it, it wouldn't look so crazy. There we go. My next string is a blue on the left and a white on the right. And the white is tying the string, and it's going left and then right. So here's my left. Tying it with my left hand, friends. Holding the pole with my right hand. So this is one way to, you know, practice some being ambidextrous using both hands. If you force yourself to tie that knot with your left hand, you're building up that strength and coordination. There we go. That's going to end on the right. We have 2 blues left. Blues go right and then left. So going to the right. And I can already tell that these strings are wonky again. And then to the left. Use your left hand, Erin. Okay, sorry. There we go. All right, I'm going to unclip this so you guys can see where we're at. We are 3 rows in. And we're supposed to be making a snowflake. So these are the 3 rows that we've done right here. And what I should have done is not tied a knot at the top, because if I had just laid my strings flat, I think that this would look better by now, because they were all bunched together and it's starting to spread out, but you can't tell what's happening there. So I'm just going to keep going. Yeah, it's not supposed to look like that. This right here is not supposed to look like that at all. And there's my, see where it got bunched all up before. So anyhow, I'm going to keep trying because I know I can do this, right? And I'm stubborn. I am stubborn. Do y'all know that about me? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, what time is it? I talked so much at the beginning. Okay, so I guess let me see if you guys have any questions first, because we just have 15 minutes left. Am I seeing that right? Yeah, they are. So, if you have any questions about reading the patterns, I guess would be, I could take those questions now, but you know, it's just like reading. You read to the right, but if you're reading to the left, it's going backwards. So we're always going left to right. So that's how you know this is a right knot and then it's a left knot. And these 2 strings, this is a right and this is a left, because that's the way that we read across the page. Double Heidi's with an I or double Heidi's with an E? Oh, thank you. I'm going to keep trying. I'm going to make this bracelet, darn it. If it kills me, I will. I might, well, I was gonna say I might add a 3rd blue in there just to keep my left and rights separate, but that might look weird. What if you did it? Oh no, no, we don't do that. We are stubborn folk here. This is how we survive. I come from quite a stubborn stock, I should tell you. I should have warned you. Yes, we are, all of us. I'm so glad there's so many Heidis. This is so fun. I had a friend, Heidi Farrar, in high school. I haven't seen her in for like since high school. I always wonder about her. She was so creative, such a lovely girl. That was in Dayton. Well, Fairborn. We were at the military base there. My dad was in the Air Force, so. Okay, now I gotta figure out where all these colors are supposed to lay, which again, your pattern does tell you how the strings, you know, which order your strings go in as you are, as you go from row to row. This is the before the knot and this is after the knot. So you can definitely figure out if they get mixed up. Determined, not stubborn. I'm very determined, absolutely. Sometimes it's just pure stubborn. I will tell you that. I can definitely be determined, but I can also be, I can be, I can be stubborn. Yeah, for sure. Like, whether I'm right or wrong, sometimes I just will stick with what I've got and just keep hammering it. I'm one of those. Well, we're on row 4, right? Were we on row 4? Row 4 has 2 blues at the left. We must be on row 3. No, I did 3 rows. We're on, oh, that's because this one stays out. That's why. Remember I was telling you guys, when there's that angle on the edge, that blue stays out. Okay, so this white is on the right. So then I've got, so when they came out of those knots, it was blue, which is the one over here, blue and white. I'm gonna turn this mat. I think maybe we'll be able to see better. I was trying to avoid making it go long ways just because like it sticks out off of my lap, but I think you guys might be able to see better actually. So if I pin it this way, I know it's still upside down for you guys. I'll figure this. Oh, I've got that new the new camera holder coming. It's the gooseneck arm something or other. Okay, so I finished row 3. So this blue over here on the edge is not going to get tied in row 4. So it is taking a break right now. And then I have another blue, and then this white should be on the right. That. And so these are the ones that I'm following. Blue, blue, white, blue. And now I need the next white. And the white after that. Okay, so we did white, white, blue. And these should be in order, but I'm just double checking them because the order at the top is scrunched together and not flat. I'm determined to take a nap. Listen, we all need our naps. I am a strong proponent of naps. For sure. Okay, and the last 2 are going to be blue and blue, and one is going to set this row out. It's this guy on the outside. There we go. Okay, so now this one is out, and this one is out. Okay, I keep asking myself, when I was 5 years old, why the heck did I fucking have so much? Oh, thanks, Mom. Kayla gave me press-ons for Christmas. You guys, this is my mom, Mama Junk. And if you ever see Auntie Junk, that's my aunt. But yeah, Mom, Kayla put the chrome on those, the mint green and then the chrome, and she made little stick-ons for me. 7 minutes. Music City Girl. What is Music City Girl doing today? I did not check to see. So that should be fun. I think this is her first time on our art hangout. It's a fairly new name to me, I think. But thank you for the compliment. I did tell everybody I'm going to share Kayla's Instagram on my Instagram so that they can see some of the art that she's actually done. You know, obviously she painted these beautifully and perfectly because she's very meticulous, but the artwork is crazy good. Watercolor pendants. Excellent. That will be fun to see. How much time do we have? Do I have time for one more row? 3:55. All right, let's see if I can squeeze in one more row here real quick. We're on number 4. So the blue and the white is making the knot and is going to the left. And if y'all wonder where I got my crafty skills from, Mama Junk. She kept us crafty. And to the right. So this white string is now going to, when I lay this down, my blue is going to go down and then my white's going to go to the right of it. So that should be the order that it goes in for the next row. Okay, so this one is a blue and a white. The white is a pole. So our white's the pole and the blue is in the circle. This one goes to the right. She taught us how to crochet and to knit and to make knots. And so I do sewing too, you guys. I do it all. Okay, left and right. And then this one is going to be the white and the blue. And the blue is going to make a knot going to the left and then to the right. So, to the left. Mom, have you ever tried these friendship bracelets with these patterns? It's wild. It's crazy. These are not the friendship bracelets that we used to make. But I'm struggling with it. So you might have to try it and see if you can figure out why I'm doing this wrong. Okay, so I've got a white and a blue, and the white is making the knot, going to the right and then to the left. To the right. And then to the left. And I wonder if the videos on YouTube could probably explain this better to me or to you guys if you have any questions. There was gobs and gobs and gobs of videos about this stuff. Oh, this is, oh, I went the wrong way. I was supposed to end on the left. Oh, no, I did. There we go. So now it's laying in the right direction. Okay. Time to go. You don't have patience for it. You're supposed to get more patience as you get older, aren't you? Okay, friends, I'm going to lift the camera up here. None. You're so funny. Ah, crafting 80. Yeah. Oh, I do know a little about a lot. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have jewelry making supplies that I can see from here. I've got a crochet sweater half done. I have a knit sweater half done. I'm working on this. Friends, we are going to go see Music City Girl next. Please show her some love. Welcome her in. We're so glad that she's here. Well, thanks for having me. I enjoyed being on what am I on? The theme park? Am I in the theme park? I think I'm in the theme park. I know it was Winter Wonderland, but I think it's a theme park. So yes, total fun. I mean, I love the crafties, so for sure. I love watching the artists because it's not something that I do, but I love showing how to do the crafts. That's for sure. I'm gonna perfect this one. All right, let's see if our new friend is ready. Oh, there's a bunch of shows. Hang on. Music City Girl is ready for the theme park art train Winter Wonderland. Here we go. Have a good day, friends.